This short video introduces you to some employer top tips for getting a job. The employers share their experience and ideas for researching and applying for a job, creating a CV and being successful at interview. Whichever industry they represent, they all agree on the basics. Do your background research before applying, highlight your skills and experiences, double-check your CV and prepare well for your interview. Let's hear what they say. Applying for a job.
First of all, do your research. Find out about the organisation you're going to. We want to know that you really are interested in us and that you've looked us up and think that we're the right organisation for you.
Information is essential. It's key. Research your target. I'm sure you know how to do that. The internet is full of opportunities to research a target of any sort.
So we're looking for an application form that stands out, that's got something slightly different to the others. That could be some training you've done or some experience you've had.
Now the first and most important thing is to make sure you've got a sensible email address. I would say just use your name and a number and avoid using stupid words, nicknames, any slang. Make sure that you don't send a blanket email to more than one person at a time. As a recipient of these emails, you want to see that the applicant has really researched the firm. They know who they're applying to, they know who to contact, and they actually address it to you by name.
When you're completing your application form, ensure you use this opportunity to captivate the reader by using sentences, not one-word answers, or using text talk. Use the application to sell yourself. Tell us about all your successes you've had and any other interesting facts that would help you get through to the next stage.
What skills and experience do you have?
It's always a huge advantage for people to have some relevant work experience. Working in an accounts department for a company or any sort of careers type thing that you've done through school. Again, you emphasise your studies, your relevant skills, including in particular IT. Can't stress enough how much of a role that IT plays in the current workplace.
Think of examples of where you've used your skills, so in Saturday jobs or in working in teams at college or whatever it might be. Things like problem solving and initiative, and particularly you'll almost always be asked, I think, about how you work in a team and what your team working is like. Good IT skills obviously fundamentally necessary for any job these days, and certainly the basic Microsoft Office applications are a minimum.
And if you've got some flair, you've done some volunteering, you've been on a Duke of Edinburgh award scheme, you've been in the Cubs, you've done gardening for old people, whatever it is, tell your new employer about that. He will be impressed. It will make you stand out.
Microsoft Office is really important for all of my guys that come into site, certainly from a office-based point of view. Even in the gym, they need to be computer literate. We do a lot of our communication through mobiles and messages, so having a good understanding of that, and obviously massive at the moment is social media. So if you can use Facebook, Twitter, that will put you in good stead for any sort of interview you go to, really.
The work experience tends to be the quality of the work experience, not quantity. But even if you've done a 6-week placement and got some good transferable skills, that's what we're looking for, really. When I say transferable skills, I mean skills that can be used for any job in any organisation. So teamwork, communication, organisation, customer service, and so on.
Get your CV right.
Keep your CV to 2 pages and information that is relevant to the position you are chasing. Show that you can spell, show that you can set out a sentence.
So I would try to make sure your CV fits to 2 pages and that any cover letter fits to a single page. It's inexcusable to have bad grammar or spelling in a CV or a cover letter. It's an instant black mark on their application.
Again, the CV needs to be very clear, well laid out, easy to find our way around, no more than 2 sides of A4.
Finally, make sure it's free of big spelling and grammar errors. Again, obvious, but I was surprised to see that how many people hadn't taken the time to give their application to a friend or family member just to look over and make sure that what they were handing in, the spelling was right, the grammar was right, it made sense.
The interview.
Remember, the people who are going to be interviewing you are probably your parents' age. Therefore, you've got to remember they think a bit like your parents. That may not be a welcome thought, but it's worth being prepared for that.
Find out the name of the manager who will be interviewing you, then research the section you are being interviewed for. Ensure you arrive on time. Think about what you're going to wear for your interview. Waitrose prides themselves on the appearance of its partners, so ensure you're dressed appropriately for your interview.
Interviews are as much about how you present yourself as what you say. So you'd be surprised how many people turn up for an interview, sit across from the table from you, don't look you in the eye, haven't necessarily dressed appropriately, whether that's too formal or not formal enough.
Make sure that you are well groomed and you are basically selling yourself. Somebody makes a judgment of you within the first 5 seconds, so you could have the best CV in the world, but if you've come to the interview dressed in jeans and Uggs, for example, it's not going to be the best impression for you.
So looking professional, appropriate clothes, nice and clean and tidy, clean nails, shoes, tidy hair, appropriate makeup and jewellery, and then behaving in a professional way. So smiling when you say hello to the panel, trying to be as relaxed as you can, being friendly, showing interest in what the interviewers are saying to you. And then finally, leave the interview on a positive note. If you've got questions to ask, make sure they're questions that are about the job, about the organisation, or about your career prospects in the job. Thank the interviewers for their time and say goodbye with a smile and a handshake. And if you do all of those things, I think you stand a really good chance of getting a job with us.
To watch the interviews in full, please visit our YouTube channel called Webinar Skills for Employment. We would like to thank Jisc for funding the project that produced these webinars and to all the people who participated.